After being pecked by a radioactive bird, mild-mannered Tuthill was compelled to become Kinneas, the Skydude. This is episode number 256, in which Kinneas is going to try to do a VIP charter, and hopefully this one doesn't error out. I wish I had a narrator. Talk about how bad yesterday was. Like, Kinneas is trying to recover from the horrible situation yesterday. What will today hold? Oh, yesterday was just awful. Another one of those days where everything was bugged about the simulator. My pilot was there, and then he wasn't there, and oh man, half the missions were bugging out on me. And then what finally just blew my stack was spawning into just a standard ferry flight that started in a field, and as soon as it loaded in and I spawned in, it said mission failure, the plane crashed. And every bit of reputation, again, it's always like 2 weeks worth of building up your reputation, and then something bad happens and you lose all your reputation. So I'm back into the mid-C range again after working for the last week and a half, trying to get my reputation back up into the B's. Yeah, for nothing. I can't believe it, that all this advanced technology to create the world's greatest simulator, and they can't have some sort of if-then go-to statement, you know, or some sort of way to say, well, if you haven't started the plane yet, you haven't even done anything, you're not even in the plane yet, you haven't done your walk around, but the plane crashes, let's not, let's create a condition where there's no penalties. And on some missions, I have crashed several times through my own stupidity and my own inexperience, okay? Even when I have crashed multiple times and it's respawned and let me try to land again, the penalty for crashing, sometimes it's not so bad. You lose a little bit of reputation, but it's not so bad. But on something like that, it's like, oh my God, you've committed the worst violation you could possibly commit in the simulator, and they hit you with an amazing reputation loss. It's insane. So, it's those little things like that. This can be rather boring to begin with. But, again, ultimately, it's a simulator. It doesn't mean anything. It's not real. I shouldn't be bent out of shape. But, look, when you spend all this time working on building your reputation up and your money up and your career, whatever, it's really frustrating. It's really disheartening. And, do I want to continue doing this? What's the point? I haven't even created a company yet. Can't imagine how upset people are. They're already upset in the forums about a lot of things to do with career mode. But these sort of crashes and other little problems, they're ridiculous. So they're not helping themselves by another reason why they could have spent another half a year or more working out the little things. It's the little things, right? Nobody doing the testing on this said, oh, yeah, sure, I enjoy losing all of my reputation for something I didn't do. This is the first time I've seen it put a cover on the windshield, which is kind of cool, but I have not seen one before. That was the first time. Okay, well, let's try to do this VIP mission and hopefully nothing goes wrong. This is a powerful plane, very powerful plane. I was very intimidated by it.
Roger that, Captain. They're on their way. Have a good flight.
Hey, thanks a lot. So yeah, when I first started flying the thing, it intimidated the heck out of me because, you know.
Sir, welcome aboard.
Hey, thank you.
Any you could speed up the flight, Captain? Got an important thing in Teterboro waiting for me. Thanks, appreciate it. I was informed at the boarding that I'd have network throughout the flight. Just wanted to let you know I really need it for some important calls, so please avoid cutting off the connection. Much appreciated.
Okay. As far as cutting off your connection, I don't think I have anything to do with that. That's nothing that I do. As far as I know, I don't know if I've ever seen any turn on the Wi-Fi switches in the aircraft.
Just wanted to drop by and say hello before you leave for Teterboro. Mr. Branch will join you on board soon. He's close to one of our top clients who booked the flight for him. Well, it's...
Oops, sorry, you might be hearing an echo. I'll try to fix that.
Service. I know I can count on you. Have a great flight.
My, it's a long story. In OBS, you can have separate audio channels. And it's really good if you have, like, the Discord going and browsers going and audio from browsers and other sources coming in, and they all channel through the desktop audio. So I've split the Microsoft Flight Simulator audio, the game audio, into its own channel. But if the desktop audio gets toggled on, then yeah, you can end up hearing an echo. So I'm sorry about that. That is off now. I hate being negative at all. I don't like being negative, and I don't like talking bad about the simulator, and I really rarely ever did during 2020. I was in the alpha for a year before 2020 released, and I never had anything bad to say. And I'm the last person that wants to say anything negative about Asobo or 2024, and it all comes back to whoever decided it in marketing or Microsoft that releasing it at the end of 2024 and calling it 2024 was a good idea. You know, I'd kick that person out personally. It was a horrible decision that's caused all of these problems, and it's done nothing. It's done nothing for helping the simulator and helping the sales and everything else. So many bad decisions. Okay, so right off the bat, I'm noticing. Here's another thing. When you set up certain profiles, it's cross-migrating changes to other control profiles. And how this one keeps coming up, I don't know. Every time now with the new plane, I've got to create one, and it keeps populating when you hit the R key to respond to communications, it guns your engine. So let me set up a new one for the TB90 TBM. And I will show you. So when I hit the search by input and hit the R key, it's throttle next detent. It just keeps coming back. Not a big deal, but I've definitely been creating profiles, and then I'll change something specifically in one profile, and then it'll load into another profile, and it's bringing these changes over to other profiles. So what's the point of having profiles at the moment? They need to work that out. Their whole control profile system, I kind of understand why they had to create it that way when you've got so many different peripherals and stuff like that, but at the same time, Lord Almighty.
Whiskey 1510 is taxiing to runway 6.
And now we're getting the lag and camera jitters. Lovely. Gotta wait for this guy to get out of the way. So, very sorry to be negative at all. I hate being negative. Don't like doing it. I was one of the biggest cheerleaders in the time before the idea that Microsoft even come back and make simulator. I was out there. Come on, Microsoft, bring it back, bring it back, bring it back. And I love everything about it. And it's only going to get better and better, but, you know, one step forward, two steps back. There are certain things in 2020 I would have said, don't you dare touch these things that we put into 2020. Sure, you can add your electronic feedback. I don't really care. You can add more stuff to it, and you can add more stuff to it. But for somebody to say, well, now let's remove this because we're giving them the electronic feedback. Maybe you should have sat down. Whoever's idea was to eliminate the ability to create an entire flight plan from the main menu and set up IFR and your citizen stars right from the main world map. Whoever's decision that was, oh, let's just take that out now. We've got the EFB now. They don't need anything else. What's that expression? I ought to slap the taste out of your mouth. And we got this wicked pull that won't go away. That's something new, I think, since SU-1. It's always kind of been there on and off.
And welcome aboard this first-class wings flight to Teterboro. I'm your captain and pilot today. Estimated flight time is 29 minutes. We're on time for departure, waiting for takeoff clearance. I'll keep you informed during the flight if anything important comes up. Thank you.
At least none of the aircraft are floating in the air today. That's a positive. Yesterday, the planes are floating all over the place. The pilot wasn't visible. My pilot was spawning in about 50 feet away from the aircraft and about 8, 9, 10 feet up in the air. Through most of yesterday. And then when you would go back to the headquarters, you know, where you're sitting at your office desk, he wasn't there. It was like he was out for lunch. This is the first VIP mission that's worked in the last several days. All of them have been bugged, and when you launch them, they come up with unexpected errors. So I'm happy this one's working today. I've been trying to get all of the VIP charter missions done that I need so I can unlock the next tier of VIP missions. So I need about 6, 7 more of these VIP charter flights. So we're in Pennsylvania, and it's rather lovely here. And we're going to be flying to New Jersey. It's a beautiful little airport.
Kilo Romeo Victor Lima Traffic Kin Foxtrot, Charlie Whiskey 1 510, taking off, runway 6 departure to the north.
I don't know. Let's see if the electronic feedback tells me what altitude my cruise is. 15,000? All right, we'll see if it actually happens or not. I'll leave flight level change off till we get up there. And set nav. All right, now that I'm done bitching, I hope you're having a fantastic day. And I want to say thank you very, very, very much for taking any time out of your day to tune in to see what I'm doing. I really appreciate it. If I'm not following you and you need another follower on YouTube, please go into the chat room and say hi, and I'll go right to your channel and click subscribe, and that'll be that. He's an awesome plane. Awesome plane. What happened there? There went half of our reputation again. What happened there? Is there an invisible tree in the runway somewhere?
Kilo Romeo Victor Lima Traffic Kin Foxtrot, Charlie Whiskey 1 510, taking off, runway 6 departure to the north.
No, I'm glad that's on video. I'm glad we caught that. Got it on the live stream and it's recorded, because it's going to be a little short that I can make to send us over to Sobo. Can you explain this one? And anybody have an idea what happened there? Is it going to happen again? We were lifting off. Everything was fine. All I did was set my altitude and toggle some things to when I turn on the autopilot. So I'll do that again. my god, now this thing is out of control. Might be time to think about playing something else for a while and just taking another long ass break from Flight Simulator. I don't know how much more of this bullshit I can take, really. Or go back to 2020, I don't know.
Center Kin Foxtrot Charlie Whiskey 1510 is type Dahar TBM 91 miles northeast of Kilo Romeo Victor Lima, 1,100 feet, request flight following. Kin Foxtrot Charlie Whiskey 1510 Center, squawk 7455. Squawk
7455.
Foxtrot Charlie Whiskey 1510. Kin Foxtrot Charlie Whiskey 1510 radar contact 2 miles northeast of Kilo Romeo Victor Lima, 2,300 feet, altimeter 29er 62. Roger Kin Foxtrot Charlie Whiskey 1510.
That's another thing. The flight plan that they put you on and the boxes that they put in the air, they don't match either. How come they couldn't work that out? You think the boxes would be generated by the flight plan.
Kin Foxtrot Charlie Whiskey 1510 is cleared to Teterboro Airport as filed. Squawk 7455.
Sad. Sad. Sad, sad, sad. Somebody's happy over there. They're getting some rain. Oh, over there too. Very nice. These mountains, little, just gentle rolling. It's interesting. It's really interesting how these formed. Not real high, like, what do they call them? Razorbacks, almost. But they're cool. I love it. I love it's very neat. Earth is a beautiful and wonderful place. And it's so weird, just the way that forms there, and then then flat, and then you get another band. That's an interesting one. Some more up ahead. Very nice. Let me turn on push talk. And yeah, I know I've been calling it the electronic feed bag, the electronic flight bag, but okay, so Penn State University is just off our port side, maybe a little too far away for us to see, but you gonna play? Doesn't want to play. Okay, that's unusual. Okay. Try something else here. That's directly underneath us, and unfortunately we can't see anything. Here we go. Oh my lord. Now the audio's not set right. One moment. It's always something. So the audio browser isn't set right. Audio browser. Talk. Try that. Nope. Nope. Gotta put this into its own window.
It is an L-shaped building, consisting of a two-story, 5-bay stone main house, with a two-story, stone kitchen L. The L was the original home, built 1798 to 1800, and the main house was built in 1818. The house and iron furnace were built by John Dunlop. As of 1826 the furnace was capable of 1,200 tons of pig iron per year. The stone house, a few large millstones, and an iron worker's house are still visible. Info from Lynn's History of Center County PA. It was added to the National Register of Historic Places in 1977.
Where are the wind settings? Holy moly, a 35 knot wind. Motion blur seems like it's on. There's 15,000 feet. Now they want us to go up to 16. But our cruise was set to 15. And the flap should have been up. Okay, fine. Well, that's on me. Getting a little bit of ice on the windshield.
Kin Foxtrot Charlie Whiskey 1510, contact Cleveland Center on 124. 325. Good day.
And the inertial separator off. Okay.
Kin Foxtrot Charlie Whiskey.
Oh, what now? What?
10 acknowledge last transmission.
Yeah.
Go to 124. 325 Kin Foxtrot Charlie Whiskey 1510. Cleveland Center Kin Foxtrot Charlie Whiskey 1510, 16,000 feet. Kin Foxtrot Charlie Whiskey 1510 Cleveland Center altimeter 29er. 60 radar contact, continue to GOB. Kin Foxtrot Charlie Whiskey 1510 contact center on 126. 725. Good day.
Whatever.
126. 725 for Kin Foxtrot Charlie Whiskey 1510. Center Kin Foxtrot Charlie Whiskey 1510, 16,000 feet.
Kin Foxtrot Charlie Whiskey 1510 center altimeter 29er. 59er radar contact. Continue to GOB.
2959. I wonder if in the future, or if now that they have some sort of automated barometric system, that it's constantly receiving wherever the local, it's constantly reading METAR, tied into the National Aviation Weather Center. And so it has, the plane is always connected to a national METAR, and that it's updating itself. That's something I don't understand. It's just one of those little things that always makes me go, what? Why? How? For IFR, that could mean the difference between life and death.
Sir, glad to be your captain today. First, I'd like to welcome you on behalf of First Class Wings on flight FCW 1510. We are currently cruising at an altitude of 14,400 feet at an airspeed of 200 knots.
And then they got the altitude wrong. We're at 16,000 feet.
In Teterboro approximately at 4:10 a.m. local time. Current temperature of 47 degrees Fahrenheit. If the weather cooperates, we should get a great view of the area as we descend. I'll update you before we reach our destination. Until then, sit back, relax, and enjoy the rest of the flight.
Yeah, and smoke if you got him, and puff it up here, because I gotta tell you, I'm just angry today, and I need something to calm me down. Just trying to get us back to the cockpit camera, and sometimes that's another thing. When you try to toggle your camera, sometimes then it just doesn't. You can't. There we go. Sometimes it does not want to take you back to the cockpit camera. I haven't, in all this time, figured out the secret to that, or why it does that. So they want these on too. These are just today's problems. In the future, again, just none of these problems will be around. It's just such a small thing, but it can really make you mad. What happened there?
What's going on?
I have no idea what's going on.
This much. I can't handle
So we've lost control, so I'm moving the camera around. I'm moving the camera around to go to the back of the plane, and the plane takes itself out of autopilot, and now we've crashed again.
1510 contact center on 134. Hey, good day.
One tree 4.
So there's another bug to report now.
510.
Moving the camera.
Center Kin Foxtrot Charlie Whiskey 1 510 is at 7,100 feet, climbing 16,000 feet.
Contact. Continue to Zutter.
All right, so let's see if we can reproduce that. So the autopilot's on. We've lost all of our altitude. We're back to 7,000 feet. It's not engaging nav. So then you usually have to come down to your flight plan.
Kin Foxtrot Charlie Whiskey 1 510, you are 9,200 feet below your assigned altitude.
Yeah, ain't that something?
16,000 foot, altimeter 29er, 61.
So you got to go to your flight plan, find out where you're going to Gobi, right? Do a direct, activate it, and then the plane will re-engage the autopilot. Engage the autopilot.
Whiskey 1510, did you copy?
Oh, Jesus Christ. Then the air traffic control always in your ass.
1,000 foot Kin Foxtrot Charlie Whiskey 1 510.
Okay. All right. So all I did, we're an autopilot. I was going to go hang out with the people in the back for a minute. And so all I did was come over here. I wonder if the A key or my direction keys are toggled to something else now. So that's all I can think, is that somehow or another, moving the camera around, the camera controls are now have been set to something else, or they picked up something else. So let me look at my direction keys. Yeah. Translate, move forward. There, elevator down, pitch down. There it is. There's the culprit. Translate cockpit view forward. Move forward. Move forward. Why are those duplicate? Okay, let's check our moving left. A. Previous fixed camera. Move left. Strafe left. Aileron roll left. So I have never assigned those. Normally I start with pretty general, like in all these general profiles that I've created. I have never said any of that. Up until now, never really had a problem moving my camera around. All right, let's do our right. Aileron roll right. No, never said it. Okay, so while it's doing its thing, now let me see if I can go back here without the plane crashing. I was just going to come back here and hang out with them and smoke a cigarette and try to relax.
Foxtrot Charlie Whiskey 1510, please expedite your climb 16,000 feet.
Why don't you shut up? Skydude is unhinged today. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Good evening, Henny. Another one of those days.
1510, please expedite your climb 16,000 feet.
Nope. I ain't expediting crap, man. I'm going to sit back here and relax and try to calm down. Too angry with the simulator today. Look at these Gollum looking at avatars. Ugh. Just sitting in the back of the plane trying to relax for a minute.
Foxtrot Charlie Whiskey 1510, please expedite your climb 16,000 feet.
Doesn't feel like we're climbing at all, actually. Let's double check. See if it's doing our flight level change.
Penn's Cave House is a historic structure, once used as a hotel from 1885 until 1919. It is located on the property of Penn's Cave and Wildlife Park at Gregg Township, Center County, Pennsylvania. It is now used strictly for offices for Penn's Cave Incorporated, and has not offered overnight or hotel accommodations since 1919. The Penn's Cave property includes 7 contributing buildings, 1 contributing site, and 2 contributing structures. Penn's Cave House was built in 1885, and is a 3-story, 7-bay, frame building with a high mansard roof. It sits on a limestone foundation. It was extensively remodeled in 1938, and again in 1960. A 1-story, rear wing was added in 1962, and was a coffee shop for cave visitors until 1980, when the Penn's Cave Visitors Center was built and opened. In 1980...
That's what I need to see, is double rainbow.
Its upper floors are used for corporate offices,
Oh, wow.
private meetings, and special events. The cave is a popular tourist attraction and features a natural curiosity with its Trenton limestone formations. The cave measures approximately 1,300 feet in length, and the height of the cave roof measures up to 55 feet above the surface of the stream, which is 3 to 5 feet deep throughout the cave. The temperature within the cave remains a constant 52 degrees Fahrenheit year-round. It was added to the National Register of Historic Places in 1978. Penn's Cave Airport is adjacent to the park. Penn's Cave was fined by the USDA in 2021 for the deaths of 34 white-tailed deer, 11 of which were shot.
Wow.
Some of the deer were killed for looking sick, but there was no notification or consultation with the veterinarian as legally required. 18 of the 21 white-tailed deer born at Penn's Cave in 2020 died.
I think that was one of the first circular rainbows I've ever seen. And that was neat. Now we're on the flight plan. Boxes are way over there. What now? Break. Okay.
Foxtrot Charlie Whiskey 1510, contact Cleveland Center on 124. 325. Good day. Foxtrot Charlie Whiskey 1510, please acknowledge.
124. Tree 25 for Kin Foxtrot Charlie Whiskey 1510. Cleveland Center Kin Foxtrot Charlie Whiskey 1510, 16,000 feet.
Kin Foxtrot Charlie Whiskey 1510, Cleveland Center altimeter 29er. 59er radar contact, continue to Zitter.
Sir, glad to be your captain today. First, I'd like to welcome you on behalf of First Class Wings on Flight. We are currently cruising at an altitude of at an airspeed of. And are expecting to land in Teterboro approximately at local time. Current temperature of, if the weather cooperates, we should get a great view of the area as we descend. I'll update you before we reach our destination. Until then, sit back, relax, and enjoy the rest of the flight.
Kin Foxtrot Charlie Whiskey 1510, contact center on 126. 725. Good day. Foxtrot Charlie Whiskey 1510, did you copy?
126. 725 Kin Foxtrot Charlie Whiskey 1510. Center Kin Foxtrot Charlie Whiskey 1510, 16,000 feet.
Kin Foxtrot Charlie Whiskey 1510, center altimeter 29er. 59er radar contact, continue to Zitter.
From Microsoft supports, they're saying that the ARAC Cycle 2503 is now available and will be automatically installed when players launch either Flight Simulator 2020 or Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. So your nav data update. Pretty strong gust.
Foxtrot Charlie Whiskey 1510, contact Cleveland Center on 124, 3825. Good day. Ken Foxtrot Charlie Whiskey 1510. Did you hear my last transmission?
124, Tree 25 for Ken Foxtrot, Charlie Whiskey 1510. Cleveland Center Ken Foxtrot, Charlie Whiskey 1510, 16,000 feet.
Ken Foxtrot Charlie Whiskey 1510, Cleveland Center, altimeter 29er. 55 radar contact, continue to Juliet Hotel Whiskey.
Hello.
Hello, are you streaming?
Yeah.
Okay. Like and subscribe.
Okay.
Okay, we'll call later.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Foxtrot, Charlie Whiskey 1510, contact Cleveland Center on 125-875. Good day. Foxtrot, Charlie Whiskey 1510, please acknowledge.
Go to 125-875 Kin Foxtrot, Charlie Whiskey 1510. Cleveland Center Kin Foxtrot, Charlie Whiskey 1510, 16,000 feet. Kin Foxtrot, Charlie Whiskey 1510, Cleveland Center altimeter 29er. 5-tree radar, contact, continue to Hoxie. Foxtrot Charlie Whiskey 1510, contact Cleveland Center on 124. Tree 25. Good day. (124) Tree 25 for Kin Foxtrot Charlie Whiskey 1510. Cleveland Center Kin Foxtrot Charlie Whiskey 1510, 16,000 feet.
It's been really nice flying in the clouds, but sadly we're so high we can't
Cleveland Center, altimeter 29er.
enjoy anything on the ground.
Contact continue to DMAC.
Clouds look lovely though, but we can't enjoy any of the Bush Talk audio stuff. Not that it's been kicking in.
The Ohio River is a 981-mile-long river in the United States. It is located in the Midwestern and
Just as I start talking about it.
flowing southwesterly from western Pennsylvania south of Lake Erie to its mouth on the Mississippi River at the southern tip of Illinois. It is the third largest river by discharge volume in the United States and the largest tributary by volume of the north-south flowing Mississippi River that divides the eastern from western United States. The river flows through or along the border of 6 states, and its drainage basin includes parts of 14 states. Through its largest tributary, the Tennessee River, the basin includes several states of the southeastern U.S. It is the source of drinking water for 3 million people. The lower Ohio River just below Louisville is obstructed by rapids known as the Falls of the Ohio, where the water level falls 26 feet in 2 miles and is impassable for navigation. The McAlpine Locks and Dam, a shipping canal bypassing the rapids, now allows commercial navigation from the forks of the Ohio at Pittsburgh to the port of New Orleans at the mouth of the Mississippi on the Gulf of Mexico. The name Ohio comes from the Seneca, Ohio, lit. Good River. European discovery of the Ohio River may be attributed to English explorers from Virginia in the latter half of the 17th century. In his Notes on the State of Virginia published in 1781-82, Thomas Jefferson stated, "The Ohio is the most beautiful river on earth. Its current gentle, waters clear, and bosom smooth and unbroken by rocks and rapids."
That's cool.
Single instance only accepted. In the late 18th century, the river was the southern boundary of the Northwest Territory. It became a primary transportation route for pioneers during the westward expansion of the early U.S. The river is sometimes considered as
Hey, it's 20 minutes after the hour, and you know what that means.
the line that divided Pennsylvania from Maryland, and thus part of the border between free and slave territory, and between the northern and southern United States or Upper South. Where the river was narrow, it was the way to freedom for thousands of slaves escaping to the north, many helped by free blacks and whites of the Underground Railroad resistance movement. The Ohio River is a climatic transition area, as its water runs along the periphery of the humid subtropical and humid continental climate areas. It is inhabited by fauna and flora of both climates. In winter, it regularly freezes over at Pittsburgh but rarely farther south towards Cincinnati and Louisville. At Paducah, Kentucky, in the south, near the Ohio's confluence with the Mississippi, it is ice-free year-round.
I don't have a stewardess to get me a coffee, so I'll be right back. Hey, Queenie, how are you?
Kin Foxtrot Charlie Whiskey 1510, contact New York Center on 1 Tree. Tree 5. Good day. Kin Foxtrot Charlie Whiskey 1510, acknowledge last transmission. Kin Foxtrot Charlie Whiskey 1510, acknowledge last transmission.
Okay. Oh, we missed an air traffic control transmission while I was getting a cup of coffee. Cheers, here's to your health, well-being, and prosperity. Hopefully you're...
Charlie Whiskey 1510 acknowledge last transmission.
Yeah. Hopefully you're having a good day. Hopefully all your flight simming is going
Charlie Whiskey 1510.
without error.
Mr. Kin Foxtrot, Charlie Whiskey 1510, 16,000 feet.
Kin Foxtrot, Charlie Whiskey 1510, New York Center, altimeter 29er. 57 radar contact, continue to stent.
957. Ah, finally can see something. I am not certain if we're still over Pennsylvania or... we're into New Jersey yet. Let me check here. So we're up here. It's weird. Okay, so still in Pennsylvania. It's Larry's Creek.
Larry's Creek is a 22.9-mile long tributary of the West Branch Susquehanna River in Lycoming County in the U.S. state of Pennsylvania. A part of the Chesapeake Bay drainage basin, its watershed drains 89.1 square miles in 6 townships and a borough. The creek flows south from the dissected Allegheny Plateau to the ridge and valley Appalachians through sandstone, limestone, and shale from the Devonian, Mississippian, and Pennsylvanian periods. The valley's first recorded inhabitants were the Sioux Canucks, followed by the Lenape and other tribes. The Great Shamokin Path crossed the creek near its mouth, where Larry Burt, the first Euro-American settler and the man who gave the creek its present name, also lived by 1769. In the 19th century, the creek and its watershed were a center for logging and related industries, including 53 sawmills, grist mills, leather tanneries, coal and iron mines. A 1903 newspaper article claimed no other stream in the country had so many mills in so small a territory. For transportation, a plank road ran along much of the creek for decades, and 2 paper railroads were planned, but never built. As of 2006, the Larry's Creek watershed is 83.1% forest and 15.7% agricultural. Nearly 9,000 acres of second-growth forest are protected public and private land for hunting and trout fishing, with more land protected in parts of Teardoton State Forest. Pollution from past industrial use is gone, and Larry's Creek has an exceptionally scenic, ultra-high water, whitewater run for canoeing. Despite agricultural runoff and small amounts of acid mine drainage, water quality is quite good, and a water filtration plant on Larry's Creek supplies over 2,500 customers.
Love your body, Larry. If you get that quote I love you too. I think it's fair to say the world is pretty stupid right now. Sad.
Charlie Whiskey 1510, contact New York Center on 12 Tree. 625. Good day.
I remain, as always, hopeful. But
Kin Foxtrot Charlie Whiskey 1510, please acknowledge.
got your acknowledgement right here.
12 Tree. 625 Kin Foxtrot, Charlie Whiskey 1510.
10 New York Center altimeter 29er.
You know,
5 radar contact, continue to Lima Victor Zulu.
I think one of the things that they could do to help pilots learn air traffic control speak is that they should almost put up what you should respond to, what you should respond by saying before you hit the communication button. Right? So it should prompt you with what to say properly. Now, I'm wondering if in the future they will start adding in voice-driven air traffic control communications so you can practice it. You don't have to use it. It would be nice to have an option to turn on voice communication. Now, there are other programs out there that are just dedicated to learn air traffic control where you do speak to them. Because a lot of people are really, like myself even, I don't practice it enough. And I'm not inclined to go wanting to join VATSIM or any of these others because, not good enough. You make a mistake and everybody jumps your shit. I've heard two sides of the story. I've heard, they're really helpful for new people over there. And then I've heard, no, they're not at all. You make a mistake, everybody's all over you. Everybody jump your crap. You don't have time for anybody who's trying to learn and struggling or whatever. But anyway, I think about all the time. I'd like to get better and better and be able to respond to air traffic control. Right? But again, right at the moment, there's no mechanism for it. So one way, again, that would help is when you hit respond and it does the radio for you and it prints out, displays what you should say, but it's always after the fact. You know what I'm talking about, right? Hit R to respond, and then the voice kicks in and it responds, and then it prints the dialogue on the screen. That's what I was saying. Maybe it'd be more helpful if it printed what you're supposed to say. And then to select that as the response. Be kind of a cruel game, but for it to put up 3 different responses, like a quiz. Air traffic control says something, and then all of a sudden 3 options appear on the screen. Like, what is the proper way to respond? That'd be mean. It'd be kind of cruel because, until you get it. Number 1, it was the proper response. Number 2, would you like fries with that? Of course, that one's, Finally, kind of out of the clouds. Very nice. This is a great plane. Very powerful. Love it. We're definitely making good time. As always, I imagine back in the day, in the flight that we're doing right now, how long in 1870 would this small little trip have taken? Just weeks. Weeks and weeks and weeks. So I'll have to go over there and put that into a wish list or item idea. Some way to help teach you air traffic control speak. Allow you to practice it. And down the road, adding it in. They're adding all these other things into it, like voice translation anyway, right? They've already got that as part built into the simulator. I don't know that anybody that's using it yet. And we're all using Discord still. But it's got voice-to-text translation and everything else. I mean, your ability to communicate with the simulator is there. Ugh. I want to find out if Kenmore is still a company. Yeah, it says yes, Kenmore is still in business. Although its parent company, Sears, I had no idea. Sears Holdings Corporation has faced financial challenges. And again, that to me, that's bad management. Sears has been around, so we were talking about like 1870s a minute ago. Sears is one of like America's first outfitters. How do you blow a legacy like that? They have faced financial challenges. Kenmore appliances continue to be produced and sold. The brand is currently owned by Transform Holdco LLC, which operates Kenmore through a licensing agreement with Sears Brands LLC.
Ken Foxtrot, Charlie Whiskey 1510, contact New York Center on 13445. Good day.
Okay, so here's where I would want it to display what I need to respond with before I hit R. Or
13445 Ken.
Join to 1344, and then it doesn't display it long enough.
New York Center.
I can look it up.
Charlie Whiskey 1510, 16,000 feet.
Ken Foxtrot, Charlie Whiskey 1510, New York Center altimeter 29er. 60 radar, contact continue.
Going to 13445 can and again, do we it's 2025, we can hear each other pretty good. The communications are good. Do we still have to say everything? Foxtrot Charlie Whiskey 1510, do we can't just say FCW 1510? I wonder if they're going to add that technology into aircraft in the future, where, again, if you're responding, it'll print out on their screen a text of what you're saying. It'll do its own text translation, right? So that you don't have to go Foxtrot Charlie Whiskey 1510, just FCW 1510. Or just go on 13445, Ken, whatever. Just hit a button and it sends your proper response to them. Don't know. And the altimeter has been fluctuating like crazy. Now we're up to going back up. Seven, 58, 59, 60. Time is it? 38 minutes after the hour. I'm broadcasting from Colorado Springs, Colorado today. We're doing a lovely little VIP trip. I need like 6 more of these to advance to the next tier. And I need to get a B rating. But this darn flight has already been plagued with errors. If you have been watching from the start of this live stream, one, on takeoff, I don't know what happened. We ran into an imaginary Bigfoot, an invisible Bigfoot on the runway. Everything was fine. We're just starting to lift off, and all of a sudden, boom, then we crashed. If I watch the playback, there's nothing wrong. Nothing gets toggled weird. I wasn't pressing any buttons. I wasn't doing anything weird. It was just another takeoff, and all of a sudden, boom, crashed. So we're going to get hit with that. Then I've been making a number of mistakes with the contacting air traffic controller back. And then when I went to go hang out in the back and have a smoke with the with our passengers, the controller had defaulted to one or injected a bunch of flight controls using my WASD keys. So every time I was pressing one of these camera keys to move myself back into the area here to hang out with Gollum and Gollum's friend, it caused the plane to go into a nosedive despite autopilot being on, and we crashed the plane there. So I don't know that I'm going to get I doubt I'm going to get a B on this flight, but I just didn't want to start over at that point. I should have, because now it's just another flight. I'm going to get paid, but again, I don't know if it's going to now we'll get a B and count towards my overall requirements. Another thing I need to check is, and I haven't today, is the stats on the stream itself. Let me do that now. Yeah, so it's doing pretty good. It says we've only missed 1 frame due to render lag and 1 frame due to encoder lag. And that's fantastic. I need to research in YouTube to find out if there is something that causes, when people tune into your playback or your stream, that it causes it to default to a lower display setting. Usually that's local, you know, you set the quality of the playback. So while my stream was on, I ran in and turned it on to check it out on another on the living room television, and it just starts displaying in low resolution, just not streaming good at all. And I can understand why that is contributing to lack of viewership. I can imagine anybody tuning it on, if that's what they see the first time tuning into my stream, that it's defaulting to a lower setting, then yeah, I mean, I can understand why I'm not getting any numbers. When I watch it on another monitor or check it out on another monitor in the same room, it looks fine. But I don't know why on like a big screen TV it's playing back so bad. Check the settings. It was set to high settings. It wasn't. You hear about the pyramids? Announcements being made and appearing across social media that they found structures underneath the pyramid. Well, you know, in a weird way, that would match a lot of the belief. Well, there's been a lot of ancient texts which a lot of people have written off as well. That's conspiracy theory. That's, you know, that's fake. So there are certain...
Charlie Whiskey 1510, contact New York Center on One Tree. 15. Good day.
Going to 13315, blah, Kinneas, Foxtrot, blah, blah, blah. I don't know what to say back.
15 for Kin Foxtrot.
Yeah, sometimes it's...
510.
Yeah. Whatever.
New York Center Kin Foxtrot, Charlie Whiskey 1510, 16,000 feet.
That was 2 responses.
Foxtrot, Charlie Whiskey 1.
Okay, so one to tell the guy that you're changing frequency, and then this one to call out to contact the new one, the new guy. Well, yeah, but there's been plenty of things out there like the supposed emerald tablets of Thoth, which has always described underground cities under Egypt. And other things. I'm not familiar with some of these other documents that they've been bringing up about that describe underground cities in Egypt. It'd sure be great if all these people fighting in the Middle East would dedicate themselves, grab a shovel instead of a rifle. Right? Now they got something to do. Not that they haven't always had something to do other than trying to dominate and kill everybody. You know, all these conflicts that are going on. It's like, here's something to do. Grab a shovel, okay? Head on over to Egypt and start digging. Stop yelling jihad and intifada and blah, 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 and go shovel some sand. The whole Middle East, everybody stop fighting and grab a shovel, right? You'd do much better if all of your existence was dedicated to tourism and digging. Because who doesn't love Ancient Aliens, right? Who doesn't love that program that manages to be on for 10,000 seasons and never really get to the point? But when it first came out, I was like, wow, this is one of the coolest shows I've ever seen. But when they just start repeating the same crap over and over again, and then they don't do complete stories, like one whole season, just any season, they just dedicate it to one topic, like the Sumerian tablets.
Clear to strat. Kin Foxtrot, Charlie Whiskey 1510 descend and maintain 2,800 feet.
Will do. Well, good. It seems to actually be working today. The air traffic control hasn't been bringing us down lately. And lately I'm having to cancel my IFR and then just go to the nearest airport and set up a landing that way. What do they want? 2005?
Kin Foxtrot, Charlie Whiskey 1510 acknowledged last transmission.
I did.
Descend and maintain 2,800 feet. Expect ILS runway. 19er approach via Strad transition. Clear to Strad Kin Foxtrot, Charlie Whiskey 1510.
1,800 feet. That's another thing. You'll hit the response and then it like glitches out. And then you hit it again and then it hits you with an error saying you're not responding fast enough. Unacceptable, Microsoft. And why is this coming up now?
Kin Foxtrot, Charlie Whiskey 1510, please expedite your descent 2,800 feet.
So we've just received clearance for landing. Please ensure your seatbelt is fastened and prepare for descent. Thank you.
Landing gear. Landing gear.
We're at 14,000 feet. If I put it in idle, I'm getting a landing gear.
Landing gear. Landing gear. Landing gear. Landing gear. Landing gear. Landing gear.
Okay. Yeah, so the world would be a much better place if everybody put down their guns and just grabbed a shovel in the Middle East. Just got to digging. Schmucks.
Foxtrot, Charlie Whiskey 1510, contact, Philadelphia approach on 1276. Good day. Kin Foxtrot, Charlie Whiskey 1510, acknowledged last transmission.
127. 6 Kin Foxtrot, Charlie.
See, I clicked it, and then as soon as you click it, now you're getting... Gosh darn it. Microsoft, it's... Jesus. Pardon my lord. My lord.
Philadelphia approach Kin Foxtrot, Charlie Whiskey 1510 is passing 10,800 feet, descending 2,800 feet.
And then this thing can't scroll down and stay current with what's being said.
6-8 radar contact.
Oh. Today was a bad day to give up sniffing glue. You remember that in the airplane movies? It was always, oh, today was a bad day to give up blah, blah, blah. That's how I felt. Still at 9,000? 1,250 foot a minute. Come on, plane. And I don't believe you can actually put this thing into feather. If there is, I don't know how to do it. And no speed brake. Yeah, 8,000, but put on the separator. Holy crap, man. We are almost out of fuel. Not anymore. Six, 8. Six, 7, 8. I don't think this thing, it does say it can go into reverse. So I'll have to give that a shot. Manual override. There's 2.8.
Foxtrot Charlie Whiskey 1510, you are 16 miles north of Teterboro. Contact Teterboro Tower on 119er. Fife when inbound.
Alice runway 19. Pressing 1, I'm pressing 1, I'm pressing R.
Tower on 119er. Fivekin Foxtrot Charlie Whiskey 1510.
So you should be able to press 1 on your keyboard and have it respond, and sometimes it works, but right now, nope.
Teterboro Tower, Kin Foxtrot Charlie Whiskey 1.
Of course not.
1015 miles north inbound ILS runway 19er approach.
Kin Foxtrot Charlie Whiskey 1510 Teterboro Tower. Altimeter 29er. 75 cleared ILS runway 19er approach.
Can't believe the barometer just jumping around so much in such short distances.
Cleared ILS runway 19er approach Kin Foxtrot Charlie Whiskey 1510.
Someone says one tugs is 1,500. 2,100 for Unville. So they might yell at me for coming down a couple hundred feet, but according to this, we're supposed to be at 2,100. This point to engage your ILS properly. See if it will. And without looking at charts. Where's the approach on this thing right here? It's not turning on. There's what? Really? So approach mode. Is not working. Okay. And we're supposed to be at 1,500. For the next waypoint. And that's taking its sweet ass time, so
vertical track.
Kin Foxtrot Charlie Whiskey 1510 wind 16 tree at 10. Cleared to land runway 19er. Kin Foxtrot Charlie Whiskey 1510, please acknowledge.
Clear to land runway 19er Kin Foxtrot Charlie Whiskey 1510.
Well, approach isn't working, so that's lovely. So let's just turn off the autopilot.
Landing gear. Landing gear. Landing gear. Landing gear. Landing gear. Landing gear. Landing gear.
Mile 10 knot crosswind. Oh yeah, I wanted to try the reverser. See if that works.
Kin Foxtrot Charlie Whiskey 1510, turn next taxiway.
Didn't work at all. Here we go.
Kin Foxtrot Charlie Whiskey 1510, contact ground on 121. Niner.
Of course, of course, of course. Huh. So the communication didn't activate for that. Oh. So the reverse does work. That's fine. Nice. I'm gonna have to go into the forums and see what's up with the autopilot not functioning properly and the approach mode not working. Not used to that. I want to apologize if all of my complaining and frustration on the last couple of live streams is caused you to be frustrated and with me or whatever. Like I said, I hate being negative. I don't want to be the guy that just complains about the simulator all day long, but it's getting kind of ridiculous. The amount of problems that I've been running into, most of them, sure, I'll take the blame for most things that go wrong that are my fault. But so many things that are not my fault that are causing so many problems. Like the spawning in and crashing thing, and then losing half of your reputation for something you had no control over.
Is going to hear from me. I won't be using this airline again anytime soon.
Hey, you can suck it, dude. Get out. Blame Asobo and blame Microsoft, not me. Sorry, I'm now angry and arguing with an NPC. I'm not going to take that from an NPC for something that was not really my fault. So it'll be a miracle if we get over a B on this. There shouldn't be any way. But we need a B for it to count towards our, yeah. Yeah. Nothing. Negative 13. First time I think I've ever seen a negative. Again, these down here, these two. Missed air traffic control transmission. Although you saw I was pressing and I was saying, hey, look, I'm pressing it. It's not working. And then all of a sudden, while you're responding, you're getting a pop-up saying you didn't respond in time. The flaps extended. Of course, that's my fault. These two crashes have nothing to do with me whatsoever. So I'm probably going to take another huge hit to reputation for stuff that's not my fault. And it's so hard to earn when you get reputation. Oh, it's like, here, be happy with this little, you get just the smallest climb in reputation when you get reputation. But when you lose it, here, let's just snatch all your reputation that you've earned for the last 2 weeks, the last month, everything just blown away. So it's going to cause a lot of people to lose their minds. And, start writing off the career mode because it's too frustrating when you're working towards goals to be hindered like that all the time. So yeah. So now that's way worse than this is the worst we've been on reputation in a long time for stuff that not our fault, not my fault. So that's like a whole month's worth of reputation shot. Man. All right. I'm not even going to fly anymore today. That normally I'm trying to do one or more live streams a day, trying to keep them short, down to an hour or two. And again, I'm frustrated, and I might just end up taking another vacation away from Microsoft Flight Simulator for a while. That close. I don't know that I want anything to do with it right now. Just too mad. And that's a shame because I love flight simming. But they've got me so angry that when I wake up in the morning, I'm just not terribly excited anymore. you've made me lose my love. And that's the worst thing you could possibly do. You're not completely, but you're making me lose my love for doing this. So I'll try to see you tomorrow.